The latest season of Living Alone in the Wild begins. The wilderness of the Arctic Circle is beginning to freeze. The contestants get food, hours on the ice, catch a net on a raft in icy water. The big fish are in the bag. Starving for dozens of days, it finally hit back. Can you be a champion by eating grilled fish every day in a shelter? Time came to day 25. Yurik's out hunting this morning. There's a squirrel right ahead. He really wanted to taste what it tasted like. Just when he wanted to hunt, spotted a prairie chicken nearby. It's about 100 meters away. A bow and arrow can't hit at that distance. Yurik tries to get closer to the prairie chicken, but it's too cold. He chose to stay warm in the shelter. This scene is beyond me. Aren't we going hunting? How do you get back to the shelter to get warm? Get warm and go outside the shelter. He found a trail to get here. Hunt a reindeer. Enough for him to eat barbecue every day until the end. But watching Yurik doesn't have the urge to hunt. These reindeer are not allowed to be hunted. I'm speechless for this high guy. Sea squirrels don't hunt. They don't hunt when they see pheasants. Seeing reindeer can't hunt. So you brought this bow and arrow to shoot the sun, and came to the shore to draw in her net. A layer of ice was found to have formed on the water. A straight hard pull might break the net. Yesterday, she was able to take the raft and release the nets. Today the water is frozen. You can imagine how quickly the temperature drops. The ice is slowly moving outward. She'll be pulling in the net soon. Klaus warms up a fire outside the shelter. He gets his food by fishing. As long as the water isn't frozen, it's mostly fishing. Stood there for hours. I didn't catch any fish today. He's very hungry anyway. Time came to day 26, and had heard footsteps early in the shelter. She doesn't know what it is. Wait until it's quiet before you go out and observe. She is very afraid of bears coming here. I hope it's not a bear. The weather is fine today, and went out on a raft to bring in the net. The nets are in the deep, but I didn't get anything today. And cold to death. Yurik spent the morning outside the shelter practicing shooting. Hey, can you stop pretending to be 13? It's just a bow and arrow shooting through the air. I doubt you're a hunter. What's the point of shooting through the air with a bow and arrow? Klaus also came to the shore. He took a fishing net and prepared it to catch fish. We don't have a raft. We have to drop it. The next thing you know, the show shows up here. The weather will drop in a few days. I can't believe the crew brought their equipment. They want the players to try ice fishing. I'm really speechless about the Danish version of the show. Delivering supplies to the players every 3 days. It's only episode 6 and there are only 3 contestants left. I guess there's not enough time. That's why we're making it easier for the player to live 2 more episodes. All made it to season 8. The contestants in the 8 seasons are more delicious than the contestants in the first season. And we only started the season with 7 contestants. We shut it down for a year if no one signed up. Every season, the contestants are just fishing. I can't do it alone in the wilderness. Just dig a pond and go fishing. Alone in the wilderness. It's also the first time I've ever seen a crew show up more than a contestant. The show's high rollers are teaching the contestants how to use their gear. Teach them how to survive falling into the water while ice fishing. And don't blame me for making too much fun, because these contestants are so bad. No skills at all. What else can I say about them but ridicule? Klaus came to the shore to observe. He found a patch of water in the distance that was frozen. Never been ice fishing before. He wanted to try it. Yurik started planning ice fishing too. If you're lucky, you'll eat good food. Annie's got 2 fish here. She's the only one who gets meat now. Annie's the one who's doing the best so far. If you stick with it, Annie could very well be this season's solo wild winner. Only 1 fish today. Any excess fish is refrigerated directly on the snow. Time came to day 27. Yurik was washing his hands early this morning. I don't understand. Why would he wash it like that? Wouldn't it be better to just wash in the lake? Then he goes out with a bow and arrow and ice fishing tools. That's what we're going to do. Klaus decided early in the morning to go exploring. He prepared a lot of things. Life jacket and some ice fishing stuff. I need a protective rope too. He can't wait to go ice fishing. In the jungle, he saw brown patches ahead of him. He suspected a brown bear. The chronically hungry Klaus. A bear is a dead end, so be careful when you walk in the jungle. Soon he came to the lake. The lake here has frozen over, but it doesn't look very thick. Annie's sorting out the nets over here. Catching fish with a net makes a big mess every time. Klaus and Yurik are the only ones preparing for ice fishing. I couldn't tell where the 2 of them came from. It looks very similar. They observe the thickness of the ice before ice fishing. It's about 8 centimeters thick. There's no problem with the whole person standing up and jumping. Klaus lit a fire on the shore. Convenient and timely heating. And Yurik builds a fire on the ice. I don't know if this guy has any sense of safety. There are fish you don't go fishing. You don't hunt when there's a hunt. Isn't building a fire on the ice a death wish? On the side of a fire. He was fishing. Klaus got down on the ice and started fishing. It looks very shallow from the opening. You can see if there's any fish. I don't understand. What the hell is this high guy fishing for? These two high people are sitting here acting for me. Are they? Feels like they're right here shooting a little video to get the job done. There's gonna be a fish bite on Urik's end soon, but it's impossible to catch. And Klaus thinks there are no fish. Urik's already packing up. Today is another wasted day. You got nothing. The same goes for Klaus. Another day of starvation. These two high rollers are definitely here to make a video and get the job done. Klaus suddenly missed his father. The big man wanted to cry again. Annie has been tidying up fishing nets all day. She caught 2 fish yesterday. So don't worry about not eating at all. It's very cold outside. We won't be long before we head back to the shelter for warmth. This is a real high. I can't hunt. I'd stay in the shelter and drink water every day. Wouldn't it be nice to be a water champion like Juan? Time came to day 28. The show crew showed up again. I really fell for these high guys. Don't you have enough players for the show? I really doubt that any of these contestants work for the show. The staff asked the players if they felt alone. Urik back. Sometimes I miss my family, but I feel like I can handle it. Afraid of being told to leave by the show. And asked Klaus if he slept warm. Klaus said he'd wrap his feet at night. There's a stove in the shelter. It's a little hot to sleep at night. And asked if she was lonely. Annie said it was nice to get used to being alone. I don't understand what the show crew is doing here. If it hurts the player, just give them $100,000 and get out. Come here and give me a hug. Look at his feet. Ask someone if they're lonely. One show has more appearances than players. Klaus drank the water and went fishing again with a fishing rod. This high guy had a good early life. Catch 2 fish now and then. Urik's working on the net here. If you can't catch a fish, you are ready to try to catch a fish with a net. His nets are mostly hung from trees to preserve his strength. We go out on a raft and set the net when the weather's nice. The water here is very shallow. If we don't have a raft, nets are rarely put in deep water. Klaus is an example. He's the only guy in the world who doesn't have a raft. You can only throw a rock as far as you can. Urik and Anne have both built rafts to set their nets out, and had the best of luck. Urik had the worst luck. You haven't done anything today, and it's been a day. Annie's doing pretty well at the moment. Time came to day 29. Annie got her tools ready early in the morning to go ice fishing. This girl's never had an emo, and arrived at her destination. This location is very similar to the location of the 2 high guys yesterday. I suspect they're around here somewhere. It's just that everyone's in the same direction. Look at the size of the lake, and the surroundings are very similar. She struck the ice with a stick and hit it with a rock. It looks like the ice here is pretty thick. You can hit it with a rock and it won't crack. Once Annie makes sure it's safe, just dig a hole with a drill, and guesses the ice has reached 10 to 15 centimeters. She looked down. That's a shallow way to catch woolly fish. Klaus also plans to go ice fishing when he gets up, and bring pictures of your family. It's only a matter of time before the high guy misses his family and quits. He came to the top of the hill. I can't believe they're building a fire in here. What the hell is this high guy up to? He built a bonfire on the rocks. Said it was for my father. Wouldn't it be better to win the championship and burn tens of billions to your father? Because I miss my father. Klaus began to cry again. Oh my God. He brought ashes to scatter. I really don't know how to explain this part for a moment. And Urik continues to tidy up his nets today. The fishing net has been screwed up. Could have just set it on fire. I don't think I can do this without a little patience. He put it all together in no time. I'm surprised at the speed. No sooner had she tidied it up than she burst into tears. He suddenly missed his son very much at home. I was speechless so suddenly. Annie was lying here on the ice, smiling at me. There was no movement on the fishing rod. This girl's always been in a good mood. Suddenly there was a movement under the water. Is this about to serve the fish? And picked up her fishing rod and hurried back to the shore. Klaus left the mountain after Emo. He went out with a load of stuff on his back, just to make a fire. I just don't understand this high guy. Urik's pulling in the nets. I saw the fish under the net. Today I caught a pike weighing more than 10 pounds. Harvest more than one thing. He caught the fish and banged it on the head. Urik had a very fruitful day. You get 5 or 6 days of food at once. He pulled the raft back to shore. All of a sudden, I got hit by this high guy. Annie also returned to the shelter. You got nothing today. But Urik is different. He celebrated at the shelter. I'd like to confiscate his fish. Make him cry like a dog. Time came to day 30. Klaus got up very early today. He decided to build a raft. This high guy's finally gonna build a raft and go catch some fish. Soon he finished the structure of the raft, hang the foam around the 4 corners of the raft, and tied a lot of sticks to the bottom. Pack everything that floats in your bag. Just put your bag on the raft. I've never seen a raft like this before. He's gonna put the net back in the water tomorrow. Annie's been fishing this morning. Fishing rods freeze when submerged in water. Yurek's pulling in the nets again, and it was also a productive day. I can't believe this high guy just struck back. We got a lot of fish today. To be the best of them all, I didn't finish yesterday's fish. There's another pile today. I can't finish. I can't finish. Night. Annie was rummaging for frozen fish to eat. Who knows, I can't find it. Sure enough, it was eaten by an animal. Bad luck opening the fucking door and getting home. Time came to day 31. Klaus moved the raft to shore in the morning. The launch test is today. The raft can float in the water. He still needs to collect more. Is this about moving to the water? A raft goes down in a heartbeat. Clearly this thing is a failure. He even tried to slide the OARS. Hey, don't struggle. Take it back and remake it. Yurek here is singing and packing. This high guy's got a lot to eat and drink right now. Now all he has to do is sing, because singing can adjust the mood. The worst fear is that he'll eat and miss his family. I thought singing would lift my mood. Who knows too hard? Peak happiness is followed by depression. The high man suddenly began to cry again. He misses his children very much. I told you, these high people just can't get enough to eat. Klaus carried the raft ashore, remodeled it. We're in the water again, but it has the same effect. It's very unsafe. Seeing a raft like this, he expressed his anger. Sit in the shelter and sulk. Time came to day 32. Klaus gets up first in the morning. He's the one who doesn't eat every day. The weather is very cold today. It should be 10 degrees below zero. There's ice in Annie's tent. There was a lot of ice on the lake last night. Most of the shore is frozen over. If we can get to rain conditions now, it must be a heavy snow. The show crew showed up again. He's got legs. Why is this show so theatrical? The players know this place is going to freeze soon. They began to collect wood. It's hard to gather firewood when it's cold. You need a lot of wood to keep you warm every night, while the weather is still good. Collect as many as you can. Right in the wood chopping scene, Yurek remembered the time when he and his father cut wood. This high guy's full and he misses his family all the time. Klaus collected a lot of firewood. The shelter began to fill up and sat on the bank in the sun. For a moment she doubted herself. I don't know what I'm doing here. It's a scary thought. Yurek is taking a bath with a pot of hot water. No showers for dozens of days. Taking a bath is wiping your body. The smell won't kill a few young women. Klaus came to the shore to pull in his net. He actually caught another big fish. While he was cleaning out his insides, many lumps were found in the fish's innards. But that didn't stop him from eating dinner. Put the fish straight on the skewer. Put it on the fire. I can finally eat after a week of starvation. Klaus doesn't know what kind of fish it is. Never caught one before. As long as you don't die, just eat it all you want. The meat of the fish is very tender and smooth. Klaus can't stop eating. Tastes like rubber, but it feels good to have something to eat. Yurek is also preparing dinner at the shelter. The fish froze hard. The inside of the fish's stomach is very fat. Yurek fried the fish eggs on an iron pan. That smells so good. The whole world is eating dinner. Only and was staring at the shore. She heard a creak on the ice. The nets are still under the ice. She's been waiting for her ice fishing opportunity. Annie soaks her feet every night before going to bed. This girl's gonna enjoy it. Klaus had grilled fish today, but now the stomach is growling again. Not eating is fine. I felt hungrier as I ate. Time came to day 33. Yurek woke up early in the morning. He came to the shore to draw in his net. The net is stuck again. Klaus recreated a door on his side. I had grilled fish yesterday. I'm obviously a lot better today. Remodeled door. You're not afraid of the wind at night. And got up and wondered how many people were still there. She's getting a little bored anyway. There's still a lot of ice on the water. And tried to pull up the net now and was very unlucky. I haven't caught any fish lately. Her goal is to break into the top 3, but not confident. Time came to day 34. Klaus was one of the first. I'm going out to take a shit. Today's nets didn't yield. When you get back to the shelter, remove any fish heads you didn't eat before. He's going to try to cook these fish heads. I can't believe this high guy doesn't do things the same way. The heads of fish you don't normally eat are hanging on the trees. Now I can finally put it to use. When the fish head is boiling, he took a walk around the neighborhood to ease his mood. Yurek wakes up in the morning and misses his family in front of the camera. That's what you really want. Go back. Give Annie hundreds of thousands of dollars. Annie might be happy to take off her clothes and run around here for a few laps. He plans to go ice fishing today. He set off with a load of stuff on his back, and she came to the shore to draw in the net. But there's still a lot of crushed ice. The raft is very difficult to navigate, and broke the ice with a stick. Slowly get out of the water. This time the net finally ushered in the harvest. She pulled up base after base. Yurek came to the ice fishing position. How is the ice so thick at this location? All in the same place. Are these waters air-conditioned? He looked at the depth of the water through the opening. It's about 2 meters deep. Now every player is very active in getting food. Klaus has been trying his hand at fishing. Yurik is ice fishing too. Annie's the only one pulling in the nets. It's cold and messy to pull in the net, but reaping the rewards is the best. Fishing is usually a waste of time, and felt frozen when she finished the net. She lit a fire on the shore. I went through 2 packs of tissues with those long legs. I just want to get down there and put sunscreen on Annie. All of a sudden all the players look like idiots, and sat on the floor talking to herself. Yurik also knelt on the ice for several hours. He couldn't stop talking. We're gonna have some more surprises coming up. Look forward to an update in the next video.